Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. My name is Sister Fatima Hodge. Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is Brother David Hodge. Welcome.
All right, sisters and brothers, today we're going to get started off with identifying the black men and women of America's true history. Now, this world does not highlight the black men and women of America's history at all. This is because they would, in fact, be identifying themselves as being the ones who afflicted the black man and woman of America, which is why they don't highlight the true experience of the black man and woman. Now, they call it slavery. When we know that slavery is just maximum profit, minimum overhead. That's how this economy is ran. So, slavery does not identify the true experience of the black man and woman, but that's what they entitle it, which is honestly just a slap in the face of our truth, from what our true experience is, because slavery doesn't even touch the surface of what the original nation experienced here in America. So that would be a false title, honestly, to give to our nation's experience. But they make sure they highlight their situations and whatever they go through. It's because if they was to highlight is what they did to our nation, they would be exposed, sisters and brothers, as being wicked devils. That's exactly who they are. So they can't have you writing papers on your history. They can't have you, because at that point you're writing papers on their ancestors. You're writing papers on them. They can't have that in schools. And that's gonna become hate, right? That's gonna cause hate. I mean, they're already causing friction with everything they do. I'm saying that if they were to just highlight exactly what happened to the black man and woman in schools, these black children would hate them, sisters and brothers. If they was to highlight exactly what happened to us, that automatically is going to enlighten, our people, because we don't even know what really happened. We just know what they tell us, right? Because we're not doing any research for ourselves. We don't really care about it to even do so, right? They got museums of our things as if it's a clown show. It was nothing great about our experience, sisters and brothers. But this is what they do. This is what the enemy does. Have you going and looking in museums and things of chains and shackles, all these things that you had around you, sisters and brothers, from them that they put on us. So they take our experience and throw it on the rug as if it doesn't matter, sisters and brothers. But sisters and brothers, we experience affliction, not just slavery. Everyone is a slave. We experience affliction 24/7 around the clock, sisters and brothers. Affliction, not slavery. Affliction. Affliction means we were being raped, beaten, tortured. Not just affliction. Our experiences and brothers was horror. Horror. That was the vision, right? That was God's vision, that we would, which was the vision of horror, right? Am I explaining that properly? Right. Did I say that right?
It was Abraham's vision.
Abraham's vision, yes. Excuse me, sisters and brothers. Right, yes. It's not God's, it was Abraham's vision. Sisters and brothers, the vision of horror. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that the experience that they entitle our excuse me, sisters and brothers. Oh my goodness.
It was used to minimize our experience. That way, as the sister shared, it don't come back to bite them in their ass. Because they were trying to escape God's judgment for doing exactly what she said. Tormenting and torturing God's people. That's why they did what they did. That's why they're not telling people. They don't, because they'll be punching in themselves with the truth, which comes with their judgment. You see, and they're not highlighting your experience because if they, like you said, if they do, then now you're incriminating yourself, right? If you're guilty of a crime, but now you're laying it all out on the table. You letting everybody know exactly what you did, exactly who you are: rapists, murderers, pedophiles. You see, now everybody know that you're not great, that you're not heroes, you're zeros.
Exactly. So this is why we are here to highlight the true experience of the black man and woman, so you all know what truly took place to you all, because that is important for you all to remember and not forget, because those are your ancestors, and on top of that, you are your ancestors, sisters and brothers. So this experience took place to you, and these devils, they have not, you know, we got to understand that they're gonna receive consequences, right, for afflicting God's people, right? They're gonna receive judgment for this. I mean, we're in the time of judgment as we speak. So we have to understand that our experience matters, and it matters for you to not forget that. But this is what they want you to do: to forget your true to forget what happened to you, to forget, wipe it all out. Just we're now friends, you know. White people are nice, you know. All these things. This is the narrative that they want you to have, because you know they don't want you to. They don't, you know, because if you were to realize what was taking place, then you know you wouldn't even want to deal with them, right? So that's why I said for them to deal shrewdly with us.
That's the point.
Because right, go ahead.
I was just saying they never stopped doing what the hell they was doing.
No, they never stopped.
They do it. They did it in another way now. Right. So you're still being afflicted.
And you realize that you're still in that period. It's a different time. Yes, we're in a different time now. However, things have not changed. The plan has not changed, sisters and brothers. The plan is still to eliminate the original nation, sisters and brothers, completely. That is their plan. Like I shared, ever since we were brought here, they've been trying to get rid of us. And through the act of genocide. Ever since we were brought here in 1555, they tried to wipe us out, sisters and brothers, get rid of all the males and get rid of all the males, right, and keep all the women. Right. That is how you perform genocide on a nation. Genocide will be to wipe out a nation, their minds from them. That's a form of genocide, wiping their minds from them completely, and completely dehumanizing them to the point to where they're no longer, you know, that's they're no longer capable, right? So they also, and another form of the point is that genocide is to wipe out a nation, right? And it's different forms that you can commit that in, right? So that's they're trying to kill us. They tried to get rid of our men, take our minds from us, you know. So now we're mating with their children, right? And now they're killing. They're attempted to kill all of our men and implant us with their seed, right? Mm-hmm. So we have to understand that the seed, it obviously matters, right? The nature of the child is what matters, right? Because why would it say kill the male babies, right? It reads this in Exodus as well. It said kill all the male babies, right? But preserve the women, but kill all the male babies. Why is the male focused on? Because that should tell you that the male is a scientific biological fact that the male carries a seed. The man, sisters and brothers. So if the man carries a seed, then that means the man carries the bloodline, right, of that child. So we have to understand that that's why they're focusing on killing the male, right?
Mhm.
The woman, we're just like the soil that the seed is planted inside of, right? And we complement the seed, but we do not determine that seed's nature. Whatever that seed is, that's what it is.
Mhm.
Sisters and brothers, we just hold the seed, right? The woman. So that's the point that we're going to get to right now, that the seed is what matters, right? Because the man carries that seed, right? So if you stop producing with your men, then you will no longer be a nation, right? Your nation will be wiped out, right? Because that seed is no longer thriving anymore. It's what was it? Extinct. That's how you become. Because at that point, that's what they attempted to do. That genocide, right? They attempted to wipe us out in that way and rape all of our women, produce their children, and wipe our seed out, right? And that's what they did. Well, that's what they attempted to do, because they did not achieve that. But they attempted to do that, sisters and brothers. So that's why you see today half of the black nation are their children, sisters and brothers, from raping us to produce their seed, to produce their children. Because at that point, they wanted to put their seed in us, so we can continue to produce their nation. Because the scripture in Exodus, it tells you that in Exodus it says, kill all the male babies, at least they multiply, right? Because they're gonna, it said they'll multiply and come against us in war with our enemies, right? That's why they want to get rid of it, because we were multiplying, right?
It was getting stronger.
Right. So they had to. That's why they had to get rid. That's why they're trying to commit genocide on our nation, sisters and brothers, because we know that without, you don't have any power if you don't have any population. You don't have any. Well, I wouldn't say that.
It's a potential power.
But
like more population, more power, potential power. If we all head in the same direction.
Exactly. But that's what they attempted, right? So they attempted to wipe out our nation. That's the point that we're making here today. The attempt to wipe out the black man and woman, right? And we say attempt because they did not achieve.
And the thing is, they would have achieved if it was not for the black. Yes, you got it. Not some fairy tale, Jesus Christ. Because they want you to believe that the reason why we made it this far is because we prayed. Well, damn it, you took too goddamn long. If prayer was the reason we made it, then what took you so long? Because indeed, that's a damn lie. It's not because of Jesus Christ, because we prayed. No, that's something that they that they beat into us on our way here. They programmed us to love Jesus. That's part of their programming. To keep that fear in you. That was one of their tactics, to psychologically terrorize you. Wow. But it was indeed the black woman, like she said, biological fact. These are scientific biological facts. You see? And the fact was that she snuck around, risked her damn life, risked her children's lives to produce with the black man because it was prohibited.
Exactly. So that should show you the strength and the power of the black woman, because she kept our nation here today. She's the reason why we're here today talking right now, because like you shared, we were not even able to produce with our own. It was restricted, right? So that means that she had to risk her life to continue to produce our seed. So she's the reason why they were not able, the black woman is the reason why they were not able to commit genocide on our nation. Right. That shows that she is a warrior, because right there she was at war, right? That was war in itself, right? Because she was trying to fight to keep our nation alive. You might not look at it as a war, but that's clearly what was happening, right?
Right.
Well, I wouldn't say, yeah, it was a fight going on, right? Obviously, because she had to push through that, right? Which makes her a warrior, right? Because
some aspects she was fearless.
It had to be. You had to sisters and brothers, especially in the conditions that we were in, they had us in while we were pregnant, on top of eating out of pig troughs. Sisters and brothers, we didn't have no clue, we were living in inhumane environments. No, barely any clothes on our backs, ripped up. We didn't even have any shoes on our feet, and we had to walk around pregnant in the worst conditions possible. Master would rape us whenever he felt like it. They kept our clothes. They would have us in the fields.
Kept you naked.
And they kept you naked because they wanted to.
Easy access.
Easy access. That's what Sister Brothers. We don't understand the real picture of what happened to our nation. Right. This is, because they're the reason why we're acting like we are today. Sisters and brothers, our enemies, because they have given us their mind.
Right.
That was the process. That was another process of genocide, sisters and brothers, to wipe out our minds and give us theirs, right? So when we were brought here in 1555, it took them 64 years to do that. Because our servitude didn't even start until 1619. But why did it take them 64 years to start our servitude?
The servitude started exactly when we came. It was the right. No, you're right. I'm sorry, sister. You got it.
Like 1619 is when the first Negro bot was released from the plant. The first Negro bot, our servitude, started in 1619.
Yeah, right. You're right, sister. Right, because you can't start something if they ain't cooperating. Right. See, that's my mind.
We were brought here in 1555.
Right, you got it.
Which is why our nation, says we've been here longer than 400 years. Yes, but it took them 64 years to turn us into slaves.
Yes,
when we were brought here, we had our minds. We knew who we were. Right. That's why
we wasn't cooperating.
Exactly. They took they raped us, made us produce their children. This is all throughout that 64-year process. They made us produce their babies. So now we have not just us, their children as well, corrupting our nation, our body, on top of them not trying to commit genocide, not allowing us to produce with our men, sisters and brothers. So in the midst of taking our minds from us, sisters and brothers, so this is what they did it took them 64 years to turn us into robots, Negro bots, sisters and brothers, Negro bots, because that's exactly what they turned us into, sisters and brothers. And that's why our servitude didn't start until 1619, which the scripture tells you that you will be enslaved, you will be brought to a strange land, enslaved and afflicted. Right?
Combo.
That means it identified our affliction in there, but they're telling you that you just went through slavery.
Servitude only.
Exactly.
That may sound way sweeter than what happened.
Right. That's not, sisters and brothers. It said affliction, enslaved and afflicted. Right. But it tells you the amount of time that you will be going through this. Right. It said for 400 years, sisters and brothers. Give me one moment. I think we have to make sure we plug in our source. Computer source. Okay. Give me that cord to the computer. All right, let's continue. I said we were enslaved and afflicted for 400 years, right? So it tells you the time frame. It describes what will happen. It describes that you will be in a strange land, and it's not yours, and that all meets the black man and woman of America's description, right? So it says 400 years, right, that we will be enslaved and afflicted. Now, we're reading out of Genesis chapter 15, sisters and brothers. It reads that we'll be exactly what I just shared, that we will be enslaved and afflicted for 400 years, right, in this strange land, right? because this is the description that of God's people. This is what they would that. This is what, excuse me, sisters and brothers. This is the description of what God's people would experience. This is how you would identify them, right? This is clearly an identification, description of what they will experience. So you will put that shoe on who fits, right? And the black man and woman of America are those who fits this description, sisters and brothers. Okay, so it said that we'll be here for 400 years, and then we'll be enslaved and afflicted for 400 years. Not in here in this land. We'll be enslaved and afflicted for 400 years. And then, afterwards, will I judge the nation whom afflicted my people, right? This is what's shared in Abraham. This is not the Abraham. This is what is shared in Abraham's vision, right? Will I judge those who afflicted my people after that 400 years, right? So we're going to take from 1619 and we're going to add up to 400 years from 1619 gives you what? 2019. Right, sisters and brothers. So that means that our servitude and affliction ended in when? 2019, the 400-year mark, right? And it said afterwards, will I judge those who afflicted my people? After that 400 years, sisters and brothers. So take it back to 2020.
That's how you wrap up a year, don't you?
Right. Immediately. What took place in 2020?
The plague. COVID-19.
They shut down their whole economy because of this virus, sisters and brothers. What would cause a people to shut down their whole economy because of a virus?
They're the only one being affected.
And they were dying from it, sisters and brothers. Not only just affected, they were dying. Their people were dying. Countless of their people were dying, sisters and brothers. They had to shut down their economy. We were not, because why? We were not dying from it. It passed over the black man and woman, not just of America, the original nation in general, sisters and brothers. Africa was not touched by this virus until they took it there with the shots and
jabs.
All these things that they pushed on them because they couldn't have that narrative floating around that black Africa didn't get touched by it. On top of the black man and woman of America not being touched by it, or if you were, you didn't die. You obviously you prevailed through. So that was a shock in itself for this nation, sisters and brothers, for this devils. That was a shock to tell them, and that was a shock because that means that the scripture is exactly. They knew that the judgment had begun. Exactly how the scripture said it would happen, sisters and brothers. So they freaked out. They shut down their whole economy, sisters and brothers. They knew what was happening. They tell you that these things are passing, so you're not paying attention to the scriptures or if you are paying attention to the scriptures, you're not reading them as if they are the future, right? You're reading them. You're reading them in a mindset of exactly. There you go. Exactly.
Right. You're trying to get some type of idea to how to maneuver your life. You don't use it to say, well, this is what we need for guidance now. They use it as past guidance that could help you in my day-to-day life as inspiration.
Exactly. So we have to understand that these people are telling us one thing, but it's a whole nother. They're telling you that these things are ancient scripture, ancient Babylon. These things happen already. Modern day. Yeah, exactly. They use that language to distort you from the true light that is your guidance, sisters and brothers. Because if you was to read certain scriptures, some of them clearly tells you, from what I just expressed, Genesis,
Abraham's vision, Abraham covenant,
the covenant, the vision, sisters and brothers, that tells you exactly
verbatim
what God's people it describes God's people, and also just tells you exactly where they will be placed in their award. Sisters and brothers, it speaks about this in that Bible, right? In that Bible that everybody reads, right?
Mm-hmm.
They claim that they read the scriptures, right?
Right.
So they read that Bible, because that's the guidance. That's the guidance, period. So they knew that judgment started exactly on time.
Right.
They freaked out, sisters and brothers, on time.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand that their minds are racing the clock right now to get rid of the evidence of them cursing God's people.
Right.
Because that's what they've been doing for 400 plus years, sisters and brothers.
I mean, right. But to them,
exactly, they think they're blessing them.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Who cursed God's people? We blessed God's people.
Exactly.
You see, because that's how they set it up.
Right.
Because we're cursed. Remember, we cursed black to be slaves forever. Is how they defined us, and they bless false Israel.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be God's chosen people. That's why they was placed in Palestine as those two, arranged them as those people. So in turn, they'll be blessed.
Right.
You see.
And this was to counter another claim, right? This is the counter to the claim that Elijah Muhammad, when he came,
mm-hmm.
he shared with us that we were the true seed of Abraham. Right. Then 3 years later, they came and established false Israel. 1948. Who are they? Yeah. They established them in that land to counter the claim that Elijah Muhammad made that the black men and women were the true seed of Abraham. They put them in that Palestine over there and claimed that they were God's people. Sisters and brothers, I mean, they stolen our identity.
Right.
They have stolen our identity, sisters and brothers. Like I shared, that when COVID-19 came in, they made sure that they took that over there to Africa, right? Mm-hmm. Because they couldn't have that narrative. Right. They had to counter that and send that thing. Everything that exposes them, they have to.
Yeah, they got to cover their tracks.
Cover it, you know. They have to. Anything that's great for us, they have to get rid of. Right. Sisters and brothers. So we have to. That's why they were pushing that. Come get the shot. Come get this shot.
He's trying to give you money,
get some. Anything that will lure you to getting the shot. Oh, I'll give you $500 if you take this shot.
Right.
That's how serious they were getting. We're serving nachos and shots today.
Ice cream, nachos,
marijuana and shots today. Right. Come on, get your shots.
You're ready.
Come on, and they did all that during that time of COVID, right? On top of saying that you couldn't even go to work without getting that shot. Right. You couldn't even work. That's how serious they were making it. Because they wanted to make sure that you got that shot. Because like you said, I mean, it shared that they didn't even give the real shot to everyone. A placebo was given out. But the real shot was targeting us. Right. Because they wanted to get rid of us, just like they were dying.
Like they intended.
And that's what they were exactly. But that gets into it exactly. They intended for us to perish from that, but it didn't. Everything backfired on them, sisters and brothers. Because we're in the time of judgment, and they're going to reap what they've sown, sisters and brothers.
Said all things will fail for them. Backfire. That's what's been happening.
Yes, sir. False Israel, like we just said, false Israel was placed in that land to counter the claim of the black man and woman of America being God's people. That's not who they are. That's why they're false. First of all, let's talk about the name. Right. They're false. Let's focus on that. False. Why would you name the people that you're claiming to be God's people, right? They're false Israel, sisters and brothers. False. Just that word alone should tell you that they're liars. Right. They're false. They're not who they claim to be.
Right.
And then the scriptures exposes them as well as being Satan, their true identity. Right. That's who they truly are, Satan, not God's people. Chapter 2 and 3 of Revelations, verse 9 tells you that they're the synagogue of Satan, sisters and brothers. Yeah. And they're lying.
They claim to be Jews.
They're
It's
not.
Satan. Right.
They're Satan. And the whole world is worshiping it, right?
Right. Exactly.
And we don't even understand that because we don't realize that they're in control of everything that you're doing.
You don't know the depths of Satan.
We don't. Our people don't even realize that these people are in control of what our agenda is here in America.
Exactly. And there's groups of them all around here in every state. They're around because they have the helping hand in your destruction.
They're the ones holding us down with all the distractions. This is the reason why we're held down, because we're distracted, 24/7. You better get to that job or you ain't gonna pay your bills. You better take him to go play that sport, your child to go play that sport. Or he's gonna be lame. You take your, they make us, they distract you with they use all their trinkets to manipulate you, sisters and brothers, to feel like you have to,
they paint the narrative for us.
They paint a narrative, so you have to live up to that narrative, right?
Right.
And you're busy 24/7 trying to do that, right? Because you got their demon children. Oh, they're fine.
They're pushing that.
They're pushing it, and they're fine. But you're trying to do all these things, and you just can't seem to get a grip, right? Just can't seem to.
It ain't working for you quite like it is for them.
Exactly. They're in control of the music that you're listening to. They're in control of the TV that you're watching, sisters and brothers. They're in control of the social media that you're scrolling on 24/7 around the clock. They're in control of it, sisters and brothers. And all they do is put chaos, affliction on there, negativity, sisters and brothers. And this is all to destroy your mind, to make sure that you have conflict in your home, to make sure you have conflict in your neighborhood, sisters and brothers, to make sure that you are a criminal. And that's what they want the image of the black man and woman of America to be, that we're a bunch of criminals and a bunch of clowns that don't care about themselves, first of all, walking around naked, big old heavy chains around our necks, men walking around with golds in their, fully golds in their mouths, sisters and brothers, their pants halfway down, flip-flops on. Sisters and brothers, this is the demon's vision. Getting their behinds done, breasts done, implants here, implants there, nose done, mouths, cheeks, bones, foreheads done. Sisters and brothers, they're doing all type of things, sisters and brothers, today, and that is the demon's vision. That is not the black man and woman of America's vision, but that's what we have. That's who we have to look up to, right?
Right.
Their children. So they're tarnishing our image. That was the plan of the demons, sisters and brothers.
Right.
Not only to camouflage in with our nation and to corrupt our body, the plan was to tarnish our image. So when they plan on taking us out, right? No one would care, right? The whole world wouldn't care because what are we doing, right? But being a bunch of clowns and shaking their behinds, walking around Walmart, pranking people, walking around stores, bothering people. What else are they doing? So, yes, they're painting a picture of us to be a bunch of clowns who that don't matter, right? And that's why we have to understand what our true vision is, because their vision is our destruction, sisters and brothers. We have to understand that they have stolen our identity, sisters and brothers, false Israel. Let's get back to theirs. They have stolen our identity and they're in control of everything that you're doing. So imagine false Israel as being a hand that's holding us down, right? That's exactly what's taking place. Because without their system going 24/7 around the clock, that gives us time to think and start to separate and go back to who we truly are, because that's what is going to happen. That's what will happen once their agenda is taken out, right? That's what will happen just naturally. We're going to go back to our nature. We're going to revert back to who we truly are, because the only reason why we're acting like them because they constantly
Mm-hmm.
That's why they have to constantly run it 24/7. Have you distracted 24/7? So with their celebrities, with the music, with all, they have to keep us interested. They have to keep us distracted. It's a reason why they got to keep doing all that. Because if they don't, that means that we're going to start to revert and think for ourselves and go back to our nature. So they have to keep their nature running 24/7. They have to keep their mind, running 24/7. So we are corrupted, right? Stay corrupted, right? Because they have to do that. They can't stop. They can't say, we're going to stop for today. Mm-hmm. No, they can't do that, sisters and brothers. They have to continue to run it 24/7. They can't leave any room for mistakes.
Right.
Sisters and brothers, because they have stolen our identity, and they can't have us find out and realize that what's happening to us. But the scripture said that we would, right? And we will rise as a mighty nation. That's what they fear. So like we shared, they read the scriptures, right? Mm-hmm. As a guidance, right? So if it's telling me that they're going to rise as a mighty nation, okay, we got to get rid of them.
Right.
Let me see, it's going to rise as a mighty nation. Oh, no, we're going to get rid of them before they even do that. Sisters and brothers, they have this in plan. Sisters and brothers, they put us in the Constitution as 3/5 of a human. Right. Sisters and brothers, they're reading what's going to happen. Said a famine will break out. Mm-hmm. A total economic collapse will happen here in America. And the scriptures, without the unsealed scriptures, you don't know any details of which is the unsealed scriptures of Revelation, sisters and brothers, is revealing what will happen during this time right now. Mm-hmm. So we have to understand that, without the unsealed scriptures, you don't know the details in what's truly going to take place, right? Because all they have is the sealed Bible, right? So that's what they're reading. Right. And that's what they're going by,
that's
and
their plan.
That's their plan. There you go. Right. That's exactly. The sealed Bible is the enemy's plan, right? Exactly, because that's the only way that they'll be able.
That was their guidance.
That was their guidance. So rather, it will be unsealed, right, for us, because that is our mind, the unsealed scriptures. So we have to understand that. I forgot the point I was making. That they are right, that they're paying attention to what the scriptures are saying, sisters and brothers. It describes the time that's about to approach. It shares that men's heart will fail from fear for what's to come. Mm. It shares children will be gray-headed, sisters and brothers, during this time. It shares a woman will have birth in silence just to eat her own baby, sisters and brothers. So these sisters and brothers, they planned to classify you as food to eat during this time. Right. And that means that, and they did that a long time ago. Right. When they classified you that, because they're reading that guidance, sisters and brothers. Right. And they made sure that they was going to have food during this time, because it said it will be a famine. Unprecedented times is what's approaching, sisters and brothers. So they're going to make sure that they eat. So they classified you as 3/5 of a human because they wanted to make sure they could tell everyone that you are now able to be eaten. Mm-hmm. Oh, sisters and brothers, imagine how wicked that is. They eat people. They will eat a person before they starve. Right. That should tell you, just give you a little surface of who you're surrounded by right now. Wicked devils. Mm-hmm. Sisters and brothers, we don't know that we have not seen them in full action. Right. We've never seen it, which is why it's important that which we have not gotten to yet, which we're about to get into that right now, since we're leading to that conversation. False Israel, they're going to be taken out, sisters and brothers. Mm. The scriptures identify that false Israel will be destroyed, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if false Israel is going to be destroyed, that means that they're not who they claim to be, right? Right. It said that they will not be uprooted, God's people, when they're placed in that land. It said they will be at peace. Mm-hmm. None of that's happening. Right. And they're going to be uprooted, sisters and brothers, destroyed. That's going to destroy the minds of this whole reality. Right. because this was what their reality is based on. God's people being false Israel.
Exactly.
People are raised to understand and know that, right? So when that vision is, that narrative is crushed, that's going to be the shock of the hour, sisters and brothers.
Right.
Abomination. That's an abomination. That's not supposed to happen.
Right.
That's not supposed to happen, sisters and brothers. It's not supposed to take place. God's people are not supposed to be uprooted. These people read the scriptures. They're God's people are not supposed to be uprooted.
Right.
So, okay, who is God's people, right? Which leads them to point the finger at you, because we are the ones who claim to be God's people in the first place. Elijah Muhammad came and said that we were God's people, and they countered that claim. So that's why they're going to be pointing the finger at us, right? Those Negroes are God's people, right? We got to get rid of them. We have to get rid of them. We already plan on get rid of us, because the scripture said that we was going to be rise as a mighty nation and come against us. Brother, they can have that. They're trying to get rid of us anyway.
Exactly.
But when that happens, sisters and brothers, they're attacking. They're going to come in who they truly are. You're going to see them in their true light, sisters and brothers, which is wicked, sisters and brothers. You're about to see the devils, wicked, sisters and brothers. We've never seen. That's why I said it's going to be a great shaking, because our nation needs that great shaking. We need that. I'm not saying I want that, but we need that, because we've never seen our enemies in full-fledged enemy mode. Am I saying that properly? We've never seen them in that light.
They've always been good.
Acting. So we have to understand that when they are in the position where their life is online, these people will do the unimaginable. And they show you in their movies, they show you on their documentaries, sisters and brothers, that they eat people. They don't mind. This is what they do, because they're beasts by nature.
Right.
They're animals.
Right. We ain't seen that animal in them yet. They've been tamed, semi-tamed. So they still cause hell here and there, but they still got they've had paradise their way. So, and they've always had everything to their disposal. So, and look how they treat you. Imagine that. They treat you like shit, and they have everything that they ever wanted.
Right.
So imagine they have nothing. Imagine they're about to receive hell. People that received heaven all their life, now they're about to receive hell. And they're destined judgment and punishment. You know what I'm saying? Like, but here you are, about to go off. The people they hated the most, who they terrorized the most, you're going off to go get a reward. You're going off to paradise. They never intended on you being successful in no manner. So imagine that hatred that's gonna rise in them. It said that when the envier becomes envious, he becomes hateful of you, because you're going off to go have heaven, and he's about to receive hell. It said they'll reach out from their grave to take you with them. They don't have anything to lose at this point. You see?
Yes, sir. So they're going to be attacking all blacks. Sisters and brothers, when this event happens, Crosshair is taken out, they're attacking all blacks. This is what the scripture says. They're going to attack all blacks, and that we will have to flee.
Right.
You will have to flee, especially if you didn't know, right? If you didn't get this light that we're giving you right now before the event, then you're going to have to flee.
Right.
Because you don't know anything, right? Because at that point you don't know anything, which is why you're fleeing, right? Because you don't know what the heck is going on.
Right.
But they're trying to tell you how serious the time is going to be during that time, where you're going to have to flee and not look back. Meaning, if your child was at home and you're at work, you cannot go back and get your baby. And if you do, which you can, but if you do, that will surely be your death, sisters and brothers. Because these devils are not about to be playing. We don't understand how serious it is, because things are still running fine today, right now. And
Got a little therapy.
You're thinking things are, nothing's going to happen to America. Nothing's going to happen here because America's never been, especially, during your time, nothing has ever happened. And, so you're not worried about it at all.
That's what people pray for.
At all, exactly.
Nothing happened during my time.
Mm-hmm. But sisters and brothers, this is soon to take place. Very soon. And these devils are going to be attacking us, attack all black sisters and brothers. And it said there's going to be a total economic collapse here during that time while they're attacking us, right?
Right.
Famine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not going to be any food, no gas, no water, no heat, no oil, no electricity. What does that mean for them and what does that mean for them? Let's think about that. Just that alone. Did I just share that false Israel represents that hand that's holding us down? And America and Britain are the ones who established them there, right? Mm-hmm. So they're the ones that, because they're all in the plans to destroy us, sisters and brothers. So if false Israel represents that hand that's holding us down, I mean that hand is no longer holding us down because they're going to be destroyed. And their whole economy is going to be ruined, sisters and brothers, because there's not going to be any internet to watch TV and be distracted. You're not going to be focused on any sports anymore. You're not going to be focused on the celebrities anymore. You're not going to be focused on getting to that job anymore. So what does that leave room for? The black man and woman to rise, right? Mm. That leaves room for that because their power is no longer, right? That power that they had, they don't have it anymore. Because that power is through the fuel, right? That they get, that they need to thrive this reality, to push this economy. Sisters and brothers, you need oil. Mm. They need oil for their planes, their ships, for their weapons, their military. To even fight a war, you need that oil, right? Mm. To have lights, to have internet, to have any of these things that keep a economy running, you need that oil because that's what this economy was based off of, right? Mm. So if they don't have that, that means they no longer have that power that they need.
Make a dream. That's on the toilet.
Exactly. It can, immediately. And it said that we would come together as a mighty nation in the twinkling of an eye. Mm-hmm. Wow, sisters and brothers. During that time, because we're no longer, first of all, we're going to be in a life or death situation.
Right, attacking you.
Let's think about that. That alone is going to cause people to unite. Mm-hmm. Come together because they kind of figure out, what do we do, right? Because people are going to be panicking, sisters and brothers. It's going to be an unprecedented time. Ain't nothing that, you can't call the cops. You can't call the MLM. You can't call, the president's not going to be on TV telling you this is what's, sisters and brothers.
You're going to want to hit out on your ass.
Exactly. Everybody is going to be in a situation, that's what I say, unprecedented. That's what unprecedented is. Nothing, no one can help you, you know? Right. Children will be gray-headed. Sisters and brothers, think about that. Mm. Just that fact alone, that children will be gray-headed, just that fact alone should rise questions in your mind. Why does the scriptures tell me this? Because a lot of people, go into the scripture, you read it, you might not know what it means, because you're trying to, but some scriptures paint a vivid picture. And this is one of those. Mm-hmm. And it said that children will be gray-headed during this time. Mm. So that should make you question, what kind of time is that? Mm. It said that this will happen, so what kind of time is about to approach?
Well, I'm glad that happened years ago.
There you go. That's the mind, right? Because they tell us these things are past tense, right? Oh, I'm happy I wasn't there. Or I'm happy I wasn't one of them. Mm. You are those that the scriptures are speaking. You're living the scriptures out, sisters and brothers. This is not past tense, sisters and brothers. What's the point of having a book, a guidance, a light that was for a long time ago?
Right. What did that do you?
We have a new book every season. Let me not get into all that. The point is that this book is a guidance.
If you had a book of guidance that took you to the past, then that means you'll be in the past. Which anything in the past is dead.
Exactly. What are we sitting in the past for, sisters and brothers? And that's a lot of people say they change the scriptures, they change this. If they change anything, they'll be blinding themselves, sisters and brothers, because they did not.
But pay attention that every time they change it, that 400 years remain the same.
Exactly.
Every time you go to Genesis
chapter 15, that no one ever talks about. You know, I've noticed that no one ever, other than the messenger of the covenant, who has given us the message about the covenant, which that we're talking about right now, you find in Genesis chapter 15, verse 18. He giving us the message of that. Why he had to come and give us this message? Because he will be that person to do that, right? The messenger of the covenant, sisters and brothers, our people. Because all these people that claim to be lights for us, they're not lights for us, sisters and brothers. Because that's the case, they would have. That's the main focus of their scriptures.
They hitting that hard, heavy.
All these preachers, that's the focus of the scripture. Period. God's people. We are God's people, right? Period.
Right.
Well, that should tell you that their agenda is to deceive you, sisters and brothers, because their pastors and preachers are their children. That's another thing. Right. That's their demon children, black-faced children, sisters and brothers. They look like us, but they're not us. They're not us. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. Literally. So their agenda is the same agenda as their fathers, knowingly or unknowingly. That's their agenda, because that's their nature. Period. Their nature is to obey masters, sisters and brothers, and to do their nature. They're just like their fathers. Right. So they're going to deter you to do things that's outside of your nature, which does what? Hurt you, sisters and brothers. We have to understand that we're operating off of a mind that's destroying us. It's destroying us because we don't know who we truly are, right? We don't know who we don't have that example, sisters and brothers, of who we are. So we're operating from what they give us, right? This is all we see. Demons. They're not going to put one of us on their television. No. They're not going to do that.
They're not going to advertise.
They don't ride. They don't want the black man and woman to wake up from their slumber, rise. They don't want any of that to happen. So they're never going to promote anything positive to.
Why would they be promoting their death?
That's their end. We're their enemies, sisters and brothers. Think about that. They're our enemies, but we're their enemies, sisters and brothers. Which is and the thing is, we're enemies because. Am I saying that properly?
Yeah.
Would I say that?
Right, and they are right, and it's right. Yeah, we're the enemies.
Right.
Exactly.
So they will not try to wake us up.
Right.
Because they're trying to conquer us, right? So why would they try to promote anything that's going to enlighten you, sisters and brothers? Period. They wouldn't. So, what was the point? Sisters and brothers, let's get back to the fact that I was talking about them changing the scriptures because they would blind themselves.
Yeah, they can't change that.
They can't do that.
They just try to interpret what it's saying.
Exactly.
For their benefit.
And then he shared the people thinks in that mindset of, I'm happy I wasn't there. Right?
Yeah, good. Right. That wasn't me.
We got to understand that we're living these scriptures out, sisters and brothers. So this is an event that's going to take place because it has not happened yet. Right. So that should alone, thinking in that mindset that the scriptures, we're living them out, and knowing that this hasn't happened yet, that should tell you that means that's going to happen, right? That's about to happen, right? So that should raise the question: why is this y'all going to be gray-headed during this time? It shared that the most compassionate man will not have any.
The most tender-hearted man.
There you go. The tender-hearted man will not have any compassion for his children or his wife, and the other way around. His brother's wife wouldn't have any compassion for her husband or her children, right? And they would eat them. Right. He said, "You would eat your own flesh." Right? They will eat their own children.
Sisters and brothers. So you're gray-headed. The parents.
This is what the scriptures are telling you.
Right.
So that should ring an alarm in your mind of what's about to happen, because we've never seen a child gray-headed, just full of gray. Never. I haven't. I mean, unless you have a condition or something, I've not seen it.
I don't know. That's
why I said unprecedented times. Some things that we've never, experienced.
Right.
So it also shared that a woman would give birth in silence during this time.
You tell me about how that works.
Exactly. So sisters, imagine that. Impossible. I'm going to say impossible because that's what's going to happen.
Right.
Sisters and brothers. So think about that. Just by me saying impossible, that should tell you how hard that is.
You let me know how that works.
How hard that is. And it said that will happen. That means that she wanted to eat that baby for real. She was hungry. Hungry. Right. Hungry, sisters and brothers. On top of the
same breath, she ought to make sure she's not on the dinner table. You know what I'm saying?
Being quiet. Having to, because if she was to make, someone would hear her. And they're coming in there to eat her and that baby, sisters and brothers.
Yeah, they're going to help you push the baby out. And they got the baby in you now.
Good. Brothers, that's how serious this time is going to be. One will give birth in silence, not to have her baby, not to eat her baby, to eat her own baby. She want to have it for herself, to eat. Sisters and brothers, this is not because she want to save her child. She wants to eat that baby.
Right, that's intense. Man.
It said extreme famine will happen here.
Right.
And stocking up food is not your answer, sisters and brothers. This light is your vision. The Injil is your guidance. The Injil is what you need, is your mind that you need to get out of here.
Right.
Sisters and brothers, the Injil is revelation, is the scriptures, the unsealed scriptures. Sisters and brothers, which is your map to get it out of here. This is the mind that you need for this time to upload, the mind that you have to upload to get out of here.
Right.
Which is the last book of the Bible as well, because that's what we're in, the time that we're in right now. Revelations, the last book of the Bible, sisters and brothers.
The gospel for this time.
Exactly. And this is your guidance. When we that's another conversation. However, this is the guidance for this time, the Injil, and this is the mind that you need, sisters and brothers, and your nature as well. You're going to have to be operating off of your nature, which is the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam, sisters and brothers.
Right.
And that is going to make us come together in Hajj. But us having one vision, one mission, coming together in unity, sisters and brothers, operating off of our nature. We have to understand that it said no weapon formed against us will prosper. Right?
Right.
No weapon formed against us will prosper during this time, because we, through our discipline, we will be in control, sisters and brothers. We will not be touched because we have to understand that we are in control, and we control the atmosphere. And through our discipline, we will be able to control the weather. We have to understand that we're in control of the weather, and the weather is more powerful than the most atomic bomb. Sisters and brothers, none of their system works without, if the weather's bad. So we have to understand that we don't need knives, guns, bombs, and weapons. We are in control. We are in control of the atmosphere. And through our discipline, we will come together and realize that we are in control of the weather, and we'll be able to. Sisters and brothers, that's going to be our weapons. Sisters and brothers, that's the point I'm trying to make. Once we are all have one vision through our discipline and our unity, sisters and brothers, we're going to be able to see and control that atmosphere. And they're not going to be able to touch us, sisters and brothers, during that time. He said, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Allah is the best of planners. We are in control, sisters and brothers.
Right.
We are in control. Said Allah, it said that the God would bring us food, right?
Right.
So if you're with demons, you're probably going to have some food stocked up there, and people are going to be attacking y'all all through the time because their plan is to stay here. and stock up. Let's take over America. That's not your vision, sisters and brothers. But that's going to be another situation that's going to approach you, because you're going to see these demons uniting, and they're going to have all these trinkets and things that you know. But we got to understand that everything that glitters is not gold, and this is their reality, sisters and brothers. So yes, they're going to have more, probably. I don't know what I'm trying to explain. The point I'm making is that they're going to unite as well. The demons are going to unite.
There's going to be a lot of
We're going to unite, sisters and brothers.
Up to over there. It's going to be a lot of the people that's credible in this reality over there.
So who are you exactly? So that's going to tempt you to go into the wrong side, sisters and brothers, because you're going to think, oh, they're taking over America. Oh, they got this, they got this, they got that. Mm-hmm. But you don't realize that we have us, our body, our mind, right. And and we're the higher pressure. Mm-hmm. You're looking at all that because, sisters and brothers, you're used to,
right, that's the mind. You're used to these are things that's powerful in this reality.
Exactly.
These are powerful people.
Exactly.
We got it under control. I'm not doing that over there. Mm-hmm.
Which is why we are shedding this light to you all right now before the event happens. So you all are able to be aware of the time that's approaching you before they approach. Because when they approach, you may not survive the shock of the approach, sisters and brothers. So this will limit that shock by you knowing exactly what's about to happen here in America, sisters and brothers. Here in your doorsteps. They telling you, you're not used to things happen here in America. Nothing ever happens to you. But that's about to come to your doorsteps, sisters and brothers. And this here is the only light that you will have. So if you feel like you're a part of this body and you want to join with us in reflecting this light and getting our people, saving as many of our people as possible, then join us, sisters and brothers, by all means. Please, you can respond to our YouTube channel, comment, reach out to us, ask questions, anything. We are available, sisters and brothers, because this is a free gift for you. A free gift. This is your mind. This is for you. We're not asking you for any money like their demon children, sisters and brothers. This is yours. You've earned it, sisters and brothers. So come get your award, the true light, sisters and brothers, the only light that you will receive during the time of darkness. All right? So with that, we'll be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.